tall, and now you go back into your rollout. 45-degree rollout, working through the front leg. You're looking for that inner thigh or opening up those adductors. That rear leg, getting those hip flexors and that glute staying turned on. You'll see Daniel keeps that toe tucked back here the entire time. So he's working from a good, strong foundation in those hips, loaded stretching, loaded mobility. We're getting a lot of things going on at the same time. Our warm-ups are not just about randomly getting your heart rate up or getting blood flow going. Those things happen because we're looking at targeted movements where we're working on stability in certain places, mobility in other places. That's going to lead to better performance and better durability during the workout and during everything else you're doing. So for the half kneeling rollout, we're getting 5 reps on each side. And the reason we're working with some of that hip mobility, our next exercise is really going to focus on opening up those hips even a little bit more. Our next exercise is going to be the TRX Cossack. We're going to keep the suspension trainer at mid-length. You're going to stand facing the anchor point, and you're going to start with wide foot stance. Torso stays nice and tall, but you want to make sure when you're loading up this torso that you don't let those hips drop back and you drop into this anterior pelvic tilt. So you want to feel like you're starting with a tight core here. Hips are engaged in back, lengthening through those quads. Feel like you're pulling those kneecaps up. We're going to do 8 reps. We're going to move to the left first. Ready, begin. This is going to be one exercise. We're going to show you some different levels. Mitch is going just half range of motion here because he's a little bit more restricted in his hips. He's driving himself down, trying to open up that trail leg to get that inside thigh to release. You'll see Alexis can drop all the way down, and one thing you want to notice here is she's keeping that core turned on. That trail leg stays nice and straight, and she's pulling those toes up towards her shin to lengthen that entire posterior chain all the way down. And Daniel is getting that same bottom position here. Core stays turned on, trail leg stays nice and long, and he's imagining he's doing this under a nice low ceiling. So now we're really making sure we're getting some dynamic mobility going side to side both ways across here. Find the level that's most appropriate for you. It's not making it hard, it's making it appropriate. Core stays turned on, tight core, mobility into the hips. Those hips have to be mobile before we can make them strong and powerful. Once you've done 8 reps going side to side, you're going to stand up for our last movement of this mobility, which is our split fly. And this is not going to be a strengthening exercise. We're going to end up doing 8 reps. You're going to be alternating arms. The key here is to think about whichever arm is driving down, that's your strength arm. Whichever arm is going up, that becomes your mobility arm. You're trying to create as much mobility in that shoulder working up as you can and as much in that strength as you go down. So we're going to have you start in that end range. We're going to have you start with your right arm up in the air, left arm down to the side. Find that end range here. You're going to have tension into the TRX suspension trainer because you're driving the arms back, not because you're leaning on it. And then you're going to let yourself drop back almost like you were doing a row. You're going to re-engage those shoulder blades, pull them down and back. And now you're going to drive down hard with that right arm and high with that left arm. Think about that plank staying nice and strong the entire time. When in doubt, think about bringing the bottom of that rib cage towards the pelvis a little bit more. Daniel's got it locked in nice and strong here. So now we got good tension working in the core here. Strengthen this right lat, mobility into this left shoulder. You can go whatever speed feels comfortable for you. If you're going to make a mistake, make the mistake of working a little bit slower than you want to, and think about that right arm or the down arm is doing most of the strength work, whichever arm is coming up doing the mobility work. So feeding back into what we did with those standing facing wall slides, we're taking advantage of some of that shoulder mobility and adding a little bit of rotation in there. We've opened up those hips, we've got that core turned on. We're finishing up with an opening exercise here to make sure you can be able to breathe well, make sure you can be able to get the space and length you want to be able to drive into these exercises. And now we're going to get ready for a workout, or if this is a mobility exercise you're just doing during the day, you're going to be more durable and more prepared for anything you have coming up for the rest of the day.